Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to talk about today is the fact that now is the time, if you haven't already, to get your Great Depression pantry stocked and in order. At the end of this video, I will give you a quick rundown on what to stockpile for a Great Depression pantry, because what we're going through right now with this economy, you're going to need it. 46 has been touting his economy, which has seen inflation explode to more than 9%. Mortgage rates balloon to the 7% plus range, and millions of American families lose thousands of dollars in buying power as Bidenomics. That might not help him heading into the next presidential race, as a new report confirms that there's a new attention-getting economic indicator flashing that hasn't appeared since the 1930s during the height of the Great Depression. If the White House and Congress do not cut inflation-causing government spending very, very soon, the results will be catastrophic. Spending surged at the end of 45's term because of why? Miss 19. The Democratic Congress then handed out vast amounts of money to subsidize the economy, the financial system, and much more. The never-before-seen levels of money creation were fueled by policies set by the Federal Reserve, which encouraged Congress to spend more money and kept interest rates extremely low, despite warnings from economists about the threat of future inflation. And then, when 46 took office, while the indicators suggested that the economic crisis would soon come to an end, he failed to respond, just like he fails to respond to everything, even questions. And then he and the congressional Democrats chose to keep spending at levels that were artificially inflated. And that, coupled with the decision by the Federal Reserve to keep interest rates low, and 46's decision to send billions of dollars to another country, also triggered inflation. Then you have energy costs that exploded, as did food costs, transportation costs. Homes became unaffordable, and the economy pushed families to exclude everything but the very basics from their purchasing plans. Now, multiple moves by the Fed to raise interest rates slowed inflation somewhat, but because government spending remained at untenable levels, the problem has remained. And the result was that most consumer goods and services, as well as rent and housing prices, remain much higher than they were before the pandemic started. Further, the cash in bank deposits have plunged. So prices are up, available cash is down, and then there's the unprecedented strain on American families. Over the last century, the only other time that Americans have seen their money supply drop this sharply was in the early 1930s, during the height of the Great Depression. And worse for 46, as his economy hits the headlines just as the 2024 presidential campaign is getting a footing. The difference this time is that prices are still going up. And that's caused a dire situation for families, as people are using savings. They're even borrowing to cover living expenses like food. 4 in 5 Americans now have less in savings than before the pandemic. And the total credit card debt has now topped $1 trillion. 52% of American adults believe that it is likely over the next few years that the United States will enter the 1930s-like depression, including 21% who say that a major depression is very likely. Now, in order to get a better idea on how to build your depression pantry, I'm going to give you a list of the most popular meals from the Great Depression. So let's start with sandwiches. You have milk toast, beef chip on toast, cucumber and mustard sandwiches, mayonnaise sandwiches, ketchup sandwiches, lard sandwiches, bacon grease sandwiches, sugar sandwiches, onion sandwiches, which is slices of onion between bread, obviously, butter and sugar sandwiches, fried potato peel sandwiches, tomato sandwiches, American cheese sandwich, which is American cheese because it was invented because it was cheap to make and it didn't require refrigeration, which many people who lived during this era, they didn't have refrigeration anyways. So the next thing is animals. The most popular animal to be eaten during this time was either turtle or tortoise, gopher, roadkill, squirrel, whatever fish or game you can catch and hunt, chicken feet in broth, and deep fried chicken skin. The next thing is soups and salads. Soups were easy to stretch because it fed more people, but just by adding some water. So you have potato soup, which is water-based, not milk-based, dandelion green salad, bean soup, rag soup, which consists of spinach and broth and lots of macaronis. Okay? So foods on bread or toast with gravy, sauce, or both. You have tomato gravy and biscuits, gravy and bread, which is the main dish, by the way. Toast with mashed potatoes and topped with gravy. Creamed corn on toast. One-eye Sam, which is a piece of bread with an over-easy egg in the center. Tomato gravy on rice. Toast with milk gravy. Warm canned tomatoes with bread. Sliced boiled pork liver on buttered toast, which is liver sliced with potato peeler. Fried potato with bread cubes, hard-boiled eggs in white sauce over rice. Now let's talk about porridges. Oatmeal mixed with lard, corn mush with milk for breakfast, fried corn mush for dinner, butter and grits with sugar and milk, runny eggs with grits, cornmeal mush. So foods that are in milk. Cornbread in milk was a favorite for the Great Depression meal. Rice in milk with some sugar, banana slices with powdered sugar and milk, popcorn with milk and sugar. You eat it like a cereal almost, okay? And then you have hot milk and rice. The next is fried foods. You have fried potatoes and hot dogs, water fried pancakes, fried bologna, and garbanzo beans fried in chicken fat or lard, salted, and then eaten cold. So the next thing is noodles or bean dishes. Hot dogs and baked beans. Beans alone. Spaghetti with tomato juice and navy beans. Spam and noodles with cream of mushroom soup. So there's other Great Depression meals. It's called corn pone, P-O-N-E. Boiled cabbage, hamburger mixed with oatmeal. And then let's talk about desserts. You have something called water pie, vinegar pie, baked apples, or depression cake. So now that the foods, so let's now talk about foods that you should stockpile in order to have the Great Depression pantry, okay? So you have flour, rice, yeast, canned meat and fish, powdered milk, cornstarch, spices and sugar, potatoes, canned cheese, canned soup or packaged soup, beans, biscuit mix, gravy mix, different kinds of sauces like marinara, Alfredo, pesto, okay? I like to make my own, okay? And then you pressure can it or water bath can it, however. Instant mashed potatoes, frozen veg, canned fruit, frozen fruit, oatmeal, cornmeal, grits, popcorn, hot dogs, pancake mix, and pasta. Now, I know that there are a lot of other foods that I left out of that list, but please use your imagination and extend this list to your liking and what would fit your family better. Okay? So I hope that this helped you out in understanding that what's happening right now with Bidenomics is actually pushing us closer and closer to another Great Depression. So why not prepare for it now and get your Great Depression pantry stocked up? Okay? All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.